Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Tribaholics. It's been a little bit because we were both busy last week, and this one's a little more depressing because we woke up on Sunday as unranked losers. So that's always fun. So let's get it started. What are we drinking on today, fellas or fella?
Yeah. So last week, we kind of had to cancel the show. I live in Tampa, so we had a nice hurricane that was supposed to come our way. So I had to evacuate. It was super stressful. My car was in the shop. So all kinds of different things going on for me. Wasn't able to make it, and Ben had things going on too. But for myself, I am drinking boxed wine tonight. A nice
Oh
Buddha
gosh,
box of Pinot Grigio for you wine fans out there. Nice $20 box of wine here. So go and get you some.
I'm drinking jack shit because I ran out of good beer and I don't really want a singular Bush Light.
Uh, you could have still drank, so you're
Well,
you're just you're just killing the show, dude. You got to prepare.
I gotta get gains. I've been hitting the gym. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
Drinking does not mean you can't get gains at the same time.
That's also true.
In fact, it's probably good for you.
I don't know if that's the case.
I think it is.
Well, I disagree. But actually, I've heard a beer after a good run is good for you.
Exactly. Not a lot of beer. A beer is good for you after a run. I did like a 5K one time, and they had like beer afterwards, so it was pretty cool. But doesn't hit as quit doesn't quite hit as good as it usually does after a run. So
Yeah. All right. Well, there's not really much recruiting going on. We just got a bunch. We had a good bunch of visitors the late game. Decent lineup for the Clemson game. Nothing too crazy. Depressing week. I guess I'll just give you a quick rundown of the correct top 25. Dude, I was thinking about it the other day. It's crazy that we used to let just these losers that run the AP poll just decide national champions. It's like these guys. I was just like these guys are who we're
they're
picking.
pretty they're
I was like
pretty
these guys.
fucking terrible.
They don't know shit.
They're pretty terrible,
Oh,
to be honest with
true.
you. I don't know like how they rank these guys or what, but it's not the best in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not great. So number one, Ohio State. I'm going out of the box here. They look good. They look complete. The defense is better, and I don't like Alabama. Two, Georgia. They looked kind of mid against Missouri, but it's also only 1 week, so I don't really care. Alabama. I mean, kind of self-explanatory. They're Alabama. Four, USC. Respect my fantasy wide receiver Jordan Addison. He's him. Michigan five. That'll move soon. Once they lose, I get to drop them really far because I don't think they're all that. Clemson at six. Self-explanatory. Tennessee at seven. I feel like I could move them up to like five, maybe four. They look good. They're a good team. Eight, Oklahoma State. Respect the Pokes. They're a legit playoff team. They're probably going to coast through the Big 12, but they always lose that one game they shouldn't, which kind of holds them back, which sucks because I got some friends out in Stillwater, so I always root for them.
Nice.
Nine, Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin. He's a wagon. They're coming.
Isn't that where they have them in the AP too?
Somewhere around there. I know they're top 10. Oh, damn. Judge just hit his 700th or 60-second home run, so now we don't have to watch all that
You don't
shit.
have to watch it anymore. You don't have to fucking watch that anymore. That's great.
Do you see TCU? They tweeted out, who's going to hit 62 first, us or Aaron Judge?
Yeah, during their game last weekend.
Yeah, they smoked them. I love it. Fuck them.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I loved it.
I got Kentucky at 10. I gave them respect for going on the road and covering, mainly because it was one of my parlays. 11, Oregon. I miss Bo Nix. I never thought I'd say it, but damn. Bo Nix would make the team watchable. It's
Oh,
depressing.
Lord.
12, Wake Forest. Fuck Dave Clawson. 13, NC State. They're going to drop because we're kicking that ass this week. 14, by default, Penn State. I mean, there's no one that could really put above them. I finally have to respect them a little bit. It makes me sad.
Sean
Kansas
Clifford.
at 15. They are them. I thought they were going to get smoked by Iowa State, but they are them. Kansas is good. I genuinely hope they win out. I want them to win it all.
Well, they're not bad, so
16, TCU. Horny Toads, they're coming. Good team, good hire. Defense worries me. It'll be a good weekend or a good matchup. I hate how it's 11 a.m., but it'll be a good, fun one. I'm not betting on it because
Yeah,
there's too much.
probably a good one to stay away from.
Yeah. 17, BYU. They're gonna, I don't know. They're just kind of there. 18, Baylor. They kind of got waxed at home. They could probably be lower. 19, UCLA. Washington lost me money, so that was a spiteful one for me. Kansas State, 20. FSU, 21. I mean, I don't know why we dropped out of the poll for losing to a good team at home, being 4-1, but
Well, especially with all the other losses that happened from like 15 to 25, so it's pretty shocking.
Is what it is. We'll be back in there next week.
Yeah.
Went to Utah. I kind of had to put them up there because of all the other shit that happened. So it might be controversial. Got 23 LSU. The only loss is to a good FSU team, by 1 point. I'll give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have a ranked win by me, 24 Mississippi State. And Cincinnati fell because they didn't really play anyone, but they're not 25. So that's the correct top 25. If you disagree, you're wrong. Because I know ball and y'all don't. Now on to the most depressing
Ben
part.
knows ball. Ben knows ball.
I do know ball. I do. I went to it. I kind of was depressed during this game. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a hard one to watch. We come out first drive of the game, go down the field, score. You had a lot of hope. Just keep your foot on the pedal there, keep the gas flowing through the vehicle that is Florida State football on that offense side of the ball, but didn't quite take off the way we thought it was going to. And then I don't know. Let's just start there. I guess let's just start on the offensive side of the ball. Because defense is its own talk, because then you got to talk about the mesh with freaking Wake Forest.
O-line got their ass kicked. That was the most depressing part to me. I know it hurt, but it was like Wake Forest does not have the athletes to be bullying us on the O-line like that. We just, I don't know. The Travis fumble hurt. We weren't really getting any push. We couldn't establish the run game, even with the pass game being good.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of, it was just one of those games. It was an uncharacteristic game, I think, on the offense. Because, we have blocked better D-lines, even when we were healthy. I still think, the way we blocked that LSU D-line shows that we just had a bad game blocking, especially with the penalties up front. Darius Washington.
Yeah, he did not look good, did he? He did not look good. It kind of looked like he'd take a step back from where he kind of was at the beginning of the season.
I don't think he's bad. I think it's just a bad game. So, I'm not going
to. Yeah. I mean, it's not that he's just bad, but he looked bad. It looked very bad.
That's college football, though. Sometimes you just don't play well.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have those days, right? So, I mean, it's going to happen, and the offense wasn't clicking like it was. Bright spots are Micah Pittman. I mean, it's our fifth game in a row now that we've had a different leading wide receiver. So, I mean, the wide receiver room's turned around. Wide receiver room looks good. I want more out of the running backs. Didn't quite, get a whole lot until probably late in the game. When it doesn't really matter. And I mean, I saw Wake running a lot of just 3 down guys, and then bringing others outside of that. So that should have opened up holes, but I guess that it really just came down to the offensive line and how they were able to play, and they just didn't play up to, not only their standards, but the way Alex Atkins his standards for him as well. So it just overall offense, I mean, it was able to produce points, which was okay, but not to the standard that we have expected up to this point in the season.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts too. A lot of guys got family down in Florida, so I'm probably thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even making excuses at this point. Just sometimes you play bad. So I'm not really going to be worried about one game after 4 games.
Right. Which I think kind of encapsulates the game in its entirety, right? It's one bad game. We're 4-1. If you would have told me coming into this game, or at the beginning of the season, that 5 games into the season, Florida State would be 4-1, I would have been extremely happy, because I definitely didn't have that record coming in. So that alone, you can't overreact to.
You had us at 5-0. I've got the record.
Sorry. That's my bad. My bad. But most fans probably wouldn't have had.
Most people had us at 3-2 or 2-3, maybe 4-1 if we played well.
Right.
I'm not sweating it. I was excited the way the offense kept fighting. We had every opportunity to make that game 42-7, 42-10. Just get absolutely smoked, but we stepped up and kept playing. So it shows a lot about the culture.
Yeah, I mean, when it was down, we were down 28-7 at one point. Is that what it was, or something like that?
after the
I was
opening.
like, well, here we go again. Much like last year, where you're just absolutely getting blown out of the water, and they fought. So I mean, you can't really
You
hold a
made it
man down
interesting.
for
So,
fighting. So
I think we will respond well. I'm looking forward to it.
talk about the defensive side of the ball real quick.
I was just going to say real quick, Ryan Fitzgerald is a loser. He needs to go get a 9 to 5, like a normal college student or someone his age. So does Sam Hartman. He's like 34. Go get an office job, just graduate. But Ryan Fitzgerald, you are a waste of a scholarship. I know you're not listening to this, but you are a waste of a scholarship, and you bring this team down, and I don't like you. I
I mean, I'm not
genuinely,
gonna go that far. I mean, the
I
kid's
genuinely
good.
root, I
He's a
genuinely
good
root for him
kid.
to miss now, just because I want him to feel bad because I don't like him that much.
I mean,
Like
he's a good kid, dude. Like he's a nice guy. From what I've heard,
I don't
I've
care if
never
he's
really
I don't
met
care
him,
if he was like an ex felon if he's making kicks. I don't care how good of a person he is. He's not making kicks, dude. He has one job and he's not making kicks. I don't care. I don't like it.
But dude, it's rough. We've kind of been harping on it since last season, even, and then we've kind of harped on it even more already through 4 games leading up to this game, and then it just kind of put the nail in the coffin for me, right? You know,
I've been off it.
you miss a chip shot, 29-yard field goal,
I make that field goal. And I'm not
just
exactly
awful. And
the
then
most
I mean,
athletic
I
specimen.
think the most not surprising, but the biggest thing that I see with Fitzgerald is his follow through. Whenever you're kicking a field goal, most kickers' legs are straight and follow through with their kick, and their legs are like straight, like a straight
His
freaking
is
line. And
bent.
his is bent. His leg is bent, so he's not even following through on his kick, which is probably prohibiting it from having any accuracy whatsoever. So
Yeah, I'm
I'm
very
not
confident that if you put one of us out there, we make that field goal.
I just don't understand because last week it was recorded that he made every single one of his field goals in practice. And then you come out here and you whiff on a 29-yarder, which anybody could have probably hit. And then, I mean, you also missed like what, a 40, 50-yarder or something else like that, which didn't help him at all. So you kind of saw this kind of boiling over to the point where Mike didn't even fucking kick a field goal after we scored a touchdown because he's like, who the hell knows? Like we got like it's probably gonna miss it. So ended up going for 2, and it's just get it together. But I don't even know the guy's name behind him. I don't know if he's any better than Fitzgerald, but apparently Mike was out at practice today, and he was kneeling right next to the kickers, watching them kick field goals. So good thing is Mike is putting a little pressure on Fitz there to produce, or he's gonna have his job taken. So
It should already be if you are a student and you are on campus and you see Fitz, let him know he's a loser. Let him know he sucks. Let him hear it. Tell him Ben Shannon said it. He'll know what that means.
boy. But yeah, hopefully that improves. We can only hope. But the thing is, I don't think Fitz has necessarily lost us a game yet. So he's just been bad. He hasn't necessarily lost us a game. So
It's coming at some
if there's one positive to take out of it is that yes, he's bad, but he hasn't cost us a game.
I agree with that. I guess that's all I got on Fitz before I just say things that I shouldn't say on air. I think I got it all out though.
There you go.
But defense, they did their job.
Go ahead.
They did enough to win. I would say they did their job. They did enough to win. Lowest point total for Wake all year. You held them to 10 points in the second half. Healthy defense, and I think we win that game with Lovett and Varys 100%. We probably win.
That's the thing. Like, we had so many injuries. We definitely didn't play up to our defensive capabilities, in my opinion, even though we did play a decent game. But even with the injuries, even with us not playing up to the level that we usually do play on the defensive side of the ball, we still held Wake Forest to their lowest output of the season. And that's accounting for them already playing Clemson, who also has a great defense as well. And that game went into like what, the 60s or something like that. So
45.
Oh, sorry.
45, 38, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that's good news. The bad news is the injuries. You hate to see it. Hopefully Lovett can get healthy soon. We're really missing him on that interior defensive line. And then obviously Verse, we saw him come back, had a very limited snap count, only got 23 snaps, but was able to produce in that. I think he had 3 tackles for loss and a sack. in just those 23 snaps. So he is very valuable, to the success of our defense. And hopefully, this upcoming week, he played 23 snaps, so maybe double that this upcoming week here against NC State. And
I heard
then
he was a full go at practice today.
yeah, which is good, but they still might want to limit him in in-game situations. So if you double his snap count from last week, get him somewhere around 50 snaps this upcoming week, which is probably is more than half of the snaps that you're going to take in a game. So that would bode well. And then if he comes out of that healthy, have him be a full go versus Clemson, because we are definitely going to need him in that game. So I think that's probably the smartest way to go about it. Now, if that's what's going to happen or not, I don't know. It kind of depends on how he feels. He still looked like he was kind of limping a little bit to me when watching the game and him playing, but he's probably sitting somewhere between 70 and 80% health right now. So you don't really want to push it and hurt the guy even more, but definitely need those two guys to be healthy. I saw a couple of our DBs get exposed against Wake Forest. They do have good wide receivers, but most of the problems that we were having was pretty much stopping the run game. They were just running all over us on first down, second down, getting really whatever they wanted. And it's all because of the type of offense they run, right? They run this mash RPO type offense where the quarterback and the running back literally walk forward and move forward with the offensive lineman until the last second. And then Sam Hartman can make that decision on whether he's going to pull it and throw it or if he's just going to hand the ball off. So it's a very difficult offense to play against, and I absolutely hate watching it. It just drives me up a fucking wall. But they run it, to perfection pretty much all the time. Dave Clawson has perfected that there at Wake Forest. So you got to give them props for running an offense that works against, FBS level talent on the defense side of the ball, especially guys who are more talented than you. So I guess the game could have kind of changed there, late when Greedy Vance kind of got mossed, that was a big letdown with Greedy getting mossed. He had a pick right in his hands, and
that was depressing.
The guy just took it because that could have changed the whole game, right? It would have given us a shot.
Just spot it down or something.
It would have given us a shot to, go down the field and tie the game. Ultimately, is what could have happened, but it didn't. There's going to need to be improvement there. You saw AZ get a little bit more run this past game, so that's good to see a true freshman getting some run there too. So I expect it to be much more improved, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. But what were your thoughts on the defensive side of the ball against Wake?
It did enough. The soft zone shit on third down and short. Got to stop. Pisses me off.
Right. It leaving the sticks open, right? Like that's a big thing. Like, why are we leaving the first down marker open on every single third down? Like, why is nobody watching, the line to gain? And that has bothered me. It always has bothered me since Fuller's been here, because he always plays that soft defense, let them get something, but bend don't break type deal. And there's got to be a good mixture somewhere. There's got to be a balance to be found between that, because you can't just keep allowing teams to get first down after first down, and then just hoping for like a red zone stop or something like that.
Yeah. I think we did a really bad job just getting off the field too. They had way too many long, methodical 14, 15 play drives that drain clock. That's also on the offense too. The offense went 3 and out too much, but the defense didn't make enough plays to get off the field. But at the end of the game, defense made enough plays to win the game. Offense didn't. It isn't really a problem we thought we'd have against Wake, but it is what it is. We weren't going undefeated. We knew that, no matter how hopeful we were. Mm-hmm. We were due to lose at some point, and I'm very interested to see how we respond. I think we'll respond well. I'm willing to get exposed on the fact that we should respond really well next week. So I guess that's a good segue into our NC State preview. Yeah, and thank God we do not have to play that little mesh again. We play a traditional offense with a mediocre quarterback and no weapons except Thompson in the slot, and I'm excited.
So, yeah, just looking at it from a standpoint, NC State is ranked 14 in the nation, probably a little too high, in my opinion. They haven't really shown a whole lot of flash. They did play semi-decent last week against Clemson until Clemson ultimately won by double digits by 10. But they're not really something to be, scared of. They're not one of those teams that you look at and you're like, damn, this is going to be a tough matchup, even though on paper it's going to appear that way. But I think we ultimately have the better team on both sides of the football. Devin Leary hasn't been
He stinks. I know
he
you
hasn't been the Devin Leary that we saw last year.
y'all hyped him up and y'all gave Moore some shit for saying he stinks. So Moore is right. That kid stinks. He is not good. He's probably gonna go for 500 against us after I said that. But he's just not good this year.
No, but I mean he's been balling like the past 2 seasons. I mean he's no joke. Like he's a good quarterback. I just don't know if they have enough around him for him to be successful. But they do score 32 points a game and only give up a little over 15 points a game. So it's something to watch. Their defense has been pretty good, but then you look at who they've played, and they've played ECU. I don't even know who their next team was, but CHSO, whatever that is, probably an FCS school. Texas Tech, and then UConn. And then Clemson's been probably their best offense that they faced. So
they give up 18 points a game to FBS teams, and that's including that garbage time touchdown against Clemson. Right. They score 18 points a game.
Right. Well, I mean, they're averaging 32, but they're playing teams that.
Yeah. Power 5 is 18. That's what I saw.
Yeah. Okay. So Power 5, 18. So yeah, you're right. So that other team is an FCS level school. So our schedule up to this point has been much more difficult, and we've gone through a lot more challenges than an NC State has. So I expect that to bode well in our favor. Hopefully we get some of these guys back from injury to make life difficult on Devin Leary. Not sure. I haven't watched a whole lot of them, but I mean, their offensive line seemed to hold on pretty well against that Clemson defensive front. So that'll be something to keep an eye on in this game as well, especially if we get some guys back like Lovett or Verse. So that'll be a big point to come across come Saturday to see if these guys are in fact going to be able to play the game. Looking at their defense, I think they have a couple corners out. And then one of their other DBs got tossed out of the game for targeting last week, so they'll be without him for the first half of our game. So that bodes well for our offense. They have yet to face an offense like ours, so I think that is going to work so much in our favor that we should be able to get our offense back on track. I see Jordan being a lot more accurate than he was this past game. He had some consistency issues with his accuracy there. But our wide receivers should be able to abuse them. I think Wake plays a 3-3-5 NC State. I think NC State plays a 3-3-5 defense. So you're going to have those holes there to run through. It's just all about a matter of being able to make sure you're hitting the right gap at the right time and making sure that run block is all shored up and good to go. So if all those things fall in place, I don't see a reason why we can't go into NC State and come out with a victory. It is a night game, and we are going to NC State. So Florida State fans who have been there before know exactly what they're going to bring. It's going to be it's going to be a shit show. You know what their fan base is like. They're right up on you. It's really loud. They say some very disgusting things to players, fans as well. So if you're going to the game, just ignore that or whatever. And hopefully the players are able to do that too, because they, like I said before, they do play or they do sit right up on you. So they're going to be right up on the players and saying some things.
Yeah, well, fuck that fan base, but it is what it is. That's really the only thing that worries me. It's a night game at NC State. We never play well there, but we're so due to win NC State. I feel like we're so due.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I mean, the only thing that worries me is their D-line, because Wake was getting some pressure with 3 pretty consistently.
Right.
But I do think Atkins will coach us up a lot better.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he definitely will. I believe he'll get the guys, right the ship a little bit. It is, I mean, and another thing is that Wake game was a 3:30 game, right? And pretty much all of our games this year have been night games, and we tend to play better at night, in those real primetime matchups. So maybe that'll bode well in our favor too. But I expect Atkins, like you mentioned, to kind of regroup the guys, get them back on track here, get them refocused on what the end goal is here for everybody. So
shouldn't be too hard to move the pocket with Jordan a little bit with 3-3-5 as well. I think we can do that as long as we give Jordan just be able to move the pocket a little bit, as long as he stays healthy, doesn't take too many hits. I feel like the offense shouldn't be too much in a rough spot. I mean, like you said, their secondary is pretty banged up, and there's no real weapons they have on that team. I'm gonna be really depressed if Darren gets a sack. I couldn't deal with that. This would be too much for me to take. I need a clean sheet. them. Aiden Shirari game winner. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
We got a comment here from Facebook from William saying fire Fuller. What are your thoughts? Because I had mentioned that before on Fuller, is that it's kind of that bend don't break. We're not covering the line to gain on third downs and giving them easy shots to be able to, that's why Wake was able to sustain such long drives, right? Is because they were just dinking and ducking on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, that type of area, and just running a quick in slant, and it's just right there for them, open every single time. It's going to be hard to ask your DBs to cover that on every basis in, basis out. So you got to play a little bit, man to man, like get up in their grill, push them off of their line whenever they're coming off. So what do you think about that? Is that
I don't
something?
like the fire Fuller comments. I got mad and tweeted him during the game, but he always adjusts well. Good second half adjustments. It's not a great DC.
I feel like he makes good adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Because in the first half, he kind of feels out the game. In the second half, he comes out and the defense plays a hell of a lot better, right? So it's just something that remains to be seen from him to put together that complete game. Is he gonna eventually grasp that or not? I don't know. I know Bud Elliott was talking about Fuller on the Nolecast as well, saying how Mike Norvell might have to start looking elsewhere because Fuller might not be the guy to get the job done here at Florida State. But that's
I don't think he's
buzzwords.
the guy to get it done. But I also like, if you can upgrade, you do it. But I don't really know who we upgrade with right now because we're still not a very attractive job.
Right. I mean, you still got to prove yourself one way or another.
He does enough to win nine, maybe 10 games a year, but we'll never win. We won't win championships with Fuller at the helm, but he does enough.
You need a guy who's probably more aggressive minded and is able to utilize his players a little bit better. But again, we're still trying to collect those players, so we're still trying to get the right guys in there for the right fit, the right scheme, which is why we've been utilizing the portal a lot, guys that are more experienced. So yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think the Fire Fuller train's a full go right now, even though
I think continuity is a little bit more important than replacing.
Right.
Win some games, recruit some guys, and then when the time comes, when you're a good enough team again to upgrade and be a more attractive job, you go get the guy who's better. But he'll get the job done for the next year or two, I think. He'll do enough.
He'll do enough. It's just hard, dude, because you just watch it over and over again. You're like, come on, like it's the same.
To be fair, we've seen it for the past 10 years. But Charles Kelly is nothing new.
It was the same thing. I mean, ever since Pruitt left, it's kind of been that way, right? So it's always kind of been like, we're just going to make sure that we're going to be a good defense that creates turnovers, that, plays well down when it comes to the red zone and all of that, instead of being an aggressive attacking type defense like Pruitt used to run when he had freaking 11 to 13 starters in the NFL on defense back in 2013. So it's a lot different. But for right now, it's fine. It's going to get the job done. But
it'll get you back on the map.
Exactly. Yeah. As we move forward, you're going to start getting some more of these recruits that are going to start paying attention, especially if we're winning, that are going to want to come here. Those guys that you can be aggressive with because they can cover way more, field or be more aggressive and be able to dissect the play faster than it's supposed to happen. Guys with higher IQs. When it comes to the game of football. So it's a work in progress. Fuller's doing what he can with what he has. It looks like the guys are bought into what he's doing, which has been like a major factor in the past. A lot of the guys weren't bought into Fuller and what he was trying to, relay to them. But it seems like that's finally kind of happened here. The guys understand and they trust his defense ultimately. If they can trust his defense and they don't lose that trust, then we'll be okay.
I want to see right now we're giving up basically whenever teams get inside of our 40, it's an automatic touchdown. We're giving up 5 points per possession once they cross the 40 for us. I want to see that go down, and I'll be a little bit more confident, but I also think it's because we played the best two offenses we're going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because Wake offense definitely is the best offense we're going to see all year by a long shot. That Louisville offense on the road on a Friday was really good. It's hard to stop the run, but I think with the NC State offense, Miami offense, Georgia Tech offense, Louisiana is going to drop a lot, so we'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
See, I want to see Armella get some burn at tackle, but I don't want to bench Washington. I feel like has Washington played any guard this year at all?
I'm not 100% sure. It's hard for me to pay attention to it all. I didn't go back and watch this game like I usually do. So I can't really tell you, but I know Washington got a lot of burn this year, or a lot of burn this past game there at the tackle position, and obviously got smoked on a lot of plays. Was called for a few penalties or so. So I know during the game, a lot of people were calling for that, which is probably the biggest thing is, are we going to start seeing Julian start getting some of these reps at that position, since we are dealing with injuries there on the line.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll see Armella. Armella's close. I don't want to bench Washington because, like we were kind of talking about earlier, like he's had a solid first 4 games, and then he just had one really bad game. And I don't know if he was new to left tackle or if he. I feel like he was guard at some point, got moved to tackle because of the Robert Scott injury, but don't hold me to that. But I think Atkins will probably move some things around throughout the week and find something that works better. Or I find it hard to see Washington playing that bad 2 games in a row.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Washington he's a left tackle, but Robert Scott's injury has kind of pushed him into that starting role. Apparently Scott's been active at practice as well. So that would be a huge lift moving forward. If he's able to start, if Robert Scott's able to start this game against NC State and remain healthy throughout it, that'll be great moving forward.
Yeah. But I'm not ready to bench Washington yet. Does it again, and then you got to start. But I think practice this week is going to be a lot of moving pieces on the O-line. There's different combinations, figuring out what works well. I think a lot more freshmen are going to start seeing some burn too. It'll be interesting.
I think it's good because I think in the off season or right in summer ball, we were seeing a lot of different mixes on the offensive line, right? Like
there's nothing these guys aren't used to.
Right. We were seeing a bunch of different guys playing a lot of different positions, even whenever, Caden Lyles went down the center, and then, Mo Smith comes in and he's having to be the guy. And then Smith gets hurt, and then we're having to try different guys out at the center position right before we go in and play as LSU. So it's good. I think having that amount of time and practice at different positions helps well for when things happen, such as injuries, to where guys needed to be moved around on the offensive line. So yeah, I agree, Ben. I agree. I think we'll see a different mixture of guys. We're going to see what works, and we'll probably ride with it.
I am begging for it. If Scott plays Friday, I feel very, very confident that we will be able to stop on that D-line. But, I mean, is there really any much else we need to cover? I mean, that offense. I mean, aside from Thompson in the slot for NC State, they don't really have many weapons. I think our defense is going to play a lot better against that. I mean, I feel like maybe I'm just trying to talk myself out of depression from the Wake Forest loss. But I feel like even with the home environment, we can get a little points, shut them up early. I like us. I got us 24-20. A little bit above their point per game average against Power 5, but I think you can get a good little 24 points. Yeah, like you said.
I would say you're probably right around there. I could see our offense doing a little more than 24 points. Just with them having injuries and then one of their guys being out as well. It'll be interesting. Their D-line is pretty good. Linebackers kind of average too. But then you look at when we played LSU, and we were able to hold LSU pretty much, by the wayside. Like we held them in check pretty well. So I expect much of the same here. NC State's got a better defensive line than LSU, but not as good as linebackers as LSU had. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if the offensive line holds up and the defensive line is able to get to the quarterback. There shouldn't be a reason why we don't win this game. But I'll make my prediction later on the score.
Yeah, I got over-under set at 50 or 50.5. So Williams said, oh, you already had it, 33-28. I feel like it's a little high scoring. I'll be a little concerned if we give up 28 points in non-garbage time to NC State, but I don't really care if we win. I'm not gonna be all like, oh man, we should have won by more. I don't care if it's the ugliest win in the world. As long as if we can go to NC State and shut those losers up, make me happy, make me smile.
Yeah, that'd
Maybe
be
get a
nice,
little,
wouldn't
maybe get game day down there for
it? For
Clemson.
Clemson. Yeah,
I'll be
I
there.
mean, if we win this game, and which Clemson should win their game as well. Yeah,
Going,
that college
I
game
think
day
it's
is
going
probably the
Michigan,
game.
Penn State, even though, but that's a Fox game, so we don't know. Maybe they'll promote the ESPN and ABC game.
Yeah,
That
I'm
game.
sure they would. I'm sure they would. I think they're kind of holding out for it, which is why they ended up going to where are they going this week? Kansas.
I've never been to Kansas. That shit's cool. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So I think that's probably why they're going to Kansas this week.
They've been a tally since 2015, so I feel like it'd be a
Because
good opportunity.
yeah, I mean they could have gone. I mean I don't even know where they could have gone this week. They could have gone to Clemson, I think, right?
Well, they had NC State Clemson last week, so they don't really do Clemson again.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's at Boston College. They don't want to do that. They could have gone.
Oh
They
yeah,
could have
never
gone
mind.
Bama A&M, but I think they're waiting
Yeah,
for. I think they're gonna wait for like Bama, Georgia, SEC champion. I don't know.
yeah.
I got bored and tweeted out my prediction for game day as well.
Yeah, but I think that's a pretty good synopsis of what to expect, which is pretty much the obvious that we've been talking about since the beginning of the season. As long as the offensive line holds up and the defensive line can get after the quarterback and stop the run,
We win games. Yeah,
we win.
line's
games.
only 3.5, so there's not saying much. I think the neutral site we were a better team, just like all things being equal, crowd wise, we're a better team. But we will find out Saturday. It's gonna be a slow week, waiting to see how we respond. But nothing's gonna be slower than that 10-day wait from LSU to Louisville. Just
Yeah.
waiting. That was awful.
Absolutely.
With that said, we can go over the slow score predictions later. We will go into where's the little thing? Our favorite segment, Degenerates Anonymous. Now, before Thomas comes in here and tooting his little fucking horn about going 4-0 last week, I'm the one that made $94 and $30 on parlays. I hit 2 good parlays.
Why didn't you pick them then?
I did with real money. With real money.
Not on the
Believe in
show.
yourself, man.
I didn't
Go
pick
both.
your podcast picks.
Hey, I believed in myself. I went balls to the wall with straight money line picks next week, trying to get myself in a better position and get +2. So I guess I kind of came away this week with an even record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 5 and 7. So now you're 6. No, you're 7 and 8. I would be 7 and 8, and Thomas is just kicking her ass.
What's
Thomas
Thomas's
is
record?
11 and 6.
Let's go.
Well, like I said, I mean, I was getting smoked early. Just one good week. That's all it takes. You get a good week, we didn't.
Mhm.
But anywho, I guess I'll get us started. Actually, Thomas, why don't you get us started since you're so good at this? Why don't you get us started?
Okay. Well, let me give it. I gotta pick my lock of the week. Okay. The first one. Utah, UCLA over 65. I did a little research. Both those teams have scored, I believe, over 30 in every game they've played. Ben and I watched the UCLA game last weekend, and we saw the UCLA quarterback, I think, have a 48-inch vertical when he hurdled a man.
He did. He was
His Pac-12 defense is not real. So,
well, Cam
65 is a
Rising's
lot,
a scrub.
but
Utah doesn't have a quarterback. Utah's a quarterback away from smoking Florida. They could have had me at quarterback and we probably beat Florida.
Oh my god! I don't know what your hate is for Cam Rising. He is
Because
not
he
that
lost
bad.
me money in the Florida game and made me look like an idiot on the
It
stream.
doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback.
He had
Cam
one
Rising
bad
would be
game.
QB4 at Florida State. He would be behind Travis, Rodmaker, and Duffy. Hell, he'd probably be 5 behind Gino fucking whoever Gino
English.
is. Gino English. He'd probably be QB5. That kid, he owes me. I want my $5 back from that bet, $10 back from that bet, and the 5 he's going to lose me when they don't win the Natty. So he owes me $15.
I love
That
that
was your
Ben.
fault for picking them.
I love that Ben's stressing $10.
Poor man.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, I don't want to hear shit about money from you, mister.
All
Listen.
right. I like that. I think that's a good pick. It's probably pretty safe considering both those teams do score a lot. And
I don't like it. Like I said, I don't like it.
Pac-12 doesn't score a whole lot of points, and Utah allowed 20 something to Florida. If you allow 20-something points to Florida, you're probably going to allow that to UCLA, who is a much better offensive team.
I think it goes under. I think UCLA wins 64-0, and the under hits.
I'll go next. My first pick of the night is going to be tomorrow night's game, which is going to be UCF versus SMU. I've got the Knights taking this one. I have them covering -3. There's news that came out. I don't know if it was over sometime over the weekend. That some SMU players are thinking about sitting out the rest of the season for whatever reason. I don't know if it's to preserve their draft stock or what it might be, but there's some interesting things going on over there. I don't know if everybody's all bought in. They look like a hot team to pick at the beginning of the season when they kind of took off, but have kind of come back down to earth. UCF had that one bad game against Louisville, but they're back on track now. And I'm going to go back to it. Bounce house at night. Never really
thought it worked out last time we bet it.
Yeah, I know it didn't really work out last time, but I mean, Louisville is a better team than SMU. Let's not get that wrong.
Did we watch the Boston College game? Did we see the score of that?
Yes, we did, but SMU's still not Louisville. They don't have a Malik Cunningham. Okay, Malik Cunningham can make magic happen. I don't even know who SMU's quarterback is. Mordecai. So I don't know. It'll be different. This guy's more of a pocket passer. He's already thrown 5 picks on the season, so one for pretty much every game. So expect a turnover here in the UCF game as well. I think UCF, they just have a better defense here. They only allow just under 2 scores a game to their opponents on average. So that looks very good for them in trying to stop an SMU offense that puts up just under 40 points. So I think they'll cover that 3. Being at home, they're going to get that 3 points. If you can get it, drop down to that -2.5. So if they win by a field goal, even better. But I'll go ahead and take the push if push comes to shove there. So bounce house night, huh?
SMU's winning, so Gus Malzahn's a loser, and John Reese Plumlee couldn't hit a barn with a rock or whatever. Couldn't hit water fell out of a boat.
all you have to do is have John Reese Plumlee run the ball. Okay, that's it. Just have him run the ball, and he's fine.
Then wait, what is the expression? I'm sorry.
You couldn't hit the outside of a barn with a rock. That's what I said.
I don't. That's not it.
You couldn't hit the
side of a barn.
Yeah, I said he couldn't hit a barn with a rock, and I meant to say he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Jeez.
Yeah, I messed up. Anyways, my first pick, I'm gonna ride with them. They have not failed me all year. I'm going to go with Washington State +13 at USC. I don't need any other explanation except for the fact that Washington State is a squad of ball knowers, and they cover. They are 4-1-0 at the spread this year, and that will continue.
Yeah, but they're going into the Coliseum, bro.
I don't give a shit about the Coliseum.
We'll
I don't give a shit about none of that.
I think this is going to be like a 28-point game, and Vince going to be just sitting here super angry late at night over his $5.
Washington, they don't play to win; they play to cover. They are a good football program.
Look, USC is the real deal. So
USC struggled with Oregon State's backup quarterback. I don't want to hear shit.
Oh, okay.
Every team was a bad game.
Yeah,
That's
doesn't
true.
matter on if you come away with a win or not.
No, I'm just riding them till the wheels fall off. I'm probably going to pick them every year.
They're 2 for 2, aren't you? With them?
Yep. I would have done Kansas this week, but I don't like that game.
Yeah, I don't like that game at all.
There's too much. Look, I forgot about North Carolina, Miami. I may have to go change a pick. But
I almost took that one, not gonna lie. I almost took North Carolina.
What does Vegas know? That's what I was like, what is Vegas?
Yeah, but I just feel like there's gonna be a game Miami comes out, right? There's gonna be one of those games Miami's just gonna come out and ball. And I feel
they have too much talent to be this bad.
Mario Cristobal is a bum. You don't know how to coach.
I feel like it could be this week just because North Carolina's defense is so sus.
We'll see. But Drake May, after seeing what the Middle Tennessee wide receivers and quarterback did, I feel like they could just go up top every play and score almost every play. But we'll see. Thomas, what's your next pick?
Tennessee -3 over LSU. I know it's in Baton Rouge, but it's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Also, I stand by the statement. Auburn outplayed LSU this weekend. We should have won. Brian Harsin should not be coaching church league flag football for 6-year-olds. I don't know why you have your inside the 15 have a wide receiver throw the ball.
No pray before play for Harson.
No, gone.
I hope Harson tears his ACL walking out of the office the last time. I hate that guy. I hope his knee just buckles.
He just doesn't know ball. They had 5 yards in the second half.
Passing.
And our offense is terrible. The Tennessee offense is going to obliterate that team, that LSU defense.
Well, what about
they
the
are good.
You know what? Moore is going to timeout.
I feel like you do that like once every other week. You
Put user in
block
timeout.
more.
And now he's in timeout. He was blocked for 5 minutes. We do not need that negative.
Also, I'd like to just say, Moore, you do not know ball.
Well, I already blocked him.
Oh, man.
I told him to tell Moore that he's just not a ball knower because it pisses him off. He doesn't know ball,
Right,
though.
but I think, like I said, in all seriousness, that Tennessee offense is too good to only win by 3. And Death Valley's scary at night at 11 a.m. All the students are going to be probably hungover from the night before. Brian Kelly is – I don't really know what that man's doing over there, but
It looks
Tennessee
perfecting his
minus 3.
accent.
I'm on the flip side of that one. I would take LSU money line. They're kind of going up. Tennessee is kind of meddling around a little bit. A tough game against Florida, and even though their offense is legit and everything, they have shown cracks here and there. So if you have one team going like this and then another team going like this on a trajectory, at some point they're going to meet. And I think this could be a game where that does happen. It wouldn't shock me if Tennessee covers this at all, but I would just put my money on LSU just because of their trajectory right now.
Non-ball knower.
Well, I mean, that's a fair point, but just like what I saw this weekend in action in the stadium, that LSU team is horrendous. They made Auburn look like a capable team.
That's probably Auburn's like big game until Brian Harson's gone. So
yeah,
the atmosphere was nice.
So
the LSU fans behind me, they stunk. I really wanted to talk shit to them, but we decided not to score after we went up 17-0. We didn't want to score a single point. Not a single point.
My next pick, I am going to the Washington-Arizona State game, and I'm going to take the Washington Huskies by 14 points here. Arizona State is freaking terrible. They've got their own issues, obviously firing Herm Edwards at the beginning of the season, and I'm running the Penix train, so I am gonna ride him. Dude has 16 touchdowns already. He's absolutely balling, almost 2,000 yards. It's only 3 picks. A great transfer that they were able to grab there. He has been absolutely showing out, and the fact that they average almost 42 points a game, and Arizona State only scores about 23 points a game, just kind of solidifies that for me. You can outscore them. That's all you got to do. Just pretty much score, every possession, which I feel like they will. They've played better opponents than Arizona State, so I think this is a bounce back game for them after they only lost by 8 points to UCLA last week. I think it's kind of a bounce back game for them, and I like them here by 2 scores for sure.
I like that pick. That's a good one. Arizona State is terrible. Like you said, I think Washington's going to have a bounce back game. So I think that's a good pick.
My next pick was also Tennessee -3.
Oh, brother. Now it's not happening.
Hendon Hooker is good. It's going to be a shootout. I also like the over. But like Thomas said, 11 a.m. in Death Valley does not move me. I'm sure all the Tennessee fans are happy. And I just think they're a better team. So I would have we take a push. But I feel like Tennessee should run away with it. Although, I don't know. Their defense kind of sucks. Actually, it doesn't just kind of suck. It outright sucks. But they can move the ball very well. So I like that.
All right. So my last pick, lock of the week, Bama -24 over A&M.
Bryce Young
did all that talking.
Bryce Young's out, by the way,
over the season, and they are terrible. So
Bryce Young is
going to destroy with or without Bryce Young. It does not matter.
General Booty. Isn't that their backup?
That's Oklahoma's.
That's
Oklahoma. Okay, wrong one.
Jalen Nolan. I don't know. I don't like it.
but
I like
Bama's
the
backup.
under.
Bama's backup didn't do too bad last week. So
He picked a 77-yard run, but their offensive coordinator after the game said, "Yeah, we don't trust him to throw outside the hashes." So that's not something you want to
I
hear.
just don't think it's gonna matter. Like Texas A&M did so much talking last year afterwards. Like that, Alabama team's gonna be fired up to play them. And I think it's the later game, right? And it's
Yeah,
in
CBS.
T-Town.
Yep. I don't know. I
So,
like
yeah,
the
so
under.
yeah, I don't know. I stayed away from it. It's just not a game I really want to bet. 24 is just a bit too high. If it was at 17, I'd feel way more comfortable. Way more comfortable taking that because I think they could win by 3 scores for sure. It's at Alabama, right? So I mean, Bryant Denny's gonna be fucking rocking at night. So their fans and their students are gonna show up because of all that talk you're talking about, Thomas. So it's definitely plausible to hit. I wouldn't call it a lock, but I don't mind it.
That hook's going to get you. I feel like they're going to win by 24, and you're going to lose by 0.5.
maybe. I just don't think A&M's gonna score many touchdowns. I think they're gonna be trading touchdowns with field goals, and it's gonna be like a 42, like 17. I don't know what that math is, but hopefully enough.
That's a big score. Yeah, my last pick, and I'm not gonna call it my lock. I think my last one was my lock. The Washington game is probably my lock, but I'm gonna take the Noles on the money line here. We are 3.5-point dogs in this one to NC State. I think we're the better team ultimately, even though it doesn't say that in the polls or anything like that. But we are the better team if you look at it. If you've been watching both teams, Florida State's a better team, better offense, better defense. It's just a matter of putting it all together for us, being able to get after the quarterback, making sure we have a healthy offensive line, limiting our penalties, which kind of killed us last game as well. We're playing a normal offense. We're not playing a mesh scheme like we were playing against Wake, and we still made that a game. So I think we'll be able to handle, Devin Leary and his one wide receiver in Thompson. So that should bode well for us. And then the offense should get back on track. Jordan's going to be more accurate. He's got the knee brace off. So yeah, I like us on the money line. It's going to be a tough environment to go into and play, which we typically do not play well at NC State at night. But I think we overcome that. We probably end up winning by a touchdown or so.
Bump. That's my third pick too. You know ball. Simple as that. You know ball.
Sorry,
That's
Florida
all.
State lost. If Ben's picking it,
Actually, every time I pick them on the podcast or put money on us to cover a spread, we are undefeated this year. I put money on
It's like
FSU
the
money.
complete opposite of last year. Every time you put money on us, we lose.
I didn't touch the Duquesne game. We didn't cover. I took FSU money line in my account over LSU. We won. I took us with the points against Louisville. We won. I took us with the points against Boston College. We won. I didn't touch the Wake Forest game. We lost. I mean, I'm sensing a trend here, so I'm gonna go FSU money line. Actually, I feel like no, I'll go FSU money line. I'll go there. Yeah, because I feel like we're gonna win.
it's gonna be an interesting game for sure. I do think having NC State play Clemson last week is gonna benefit Florida State. That's a pretty brutal schedule, to be honest.
Dude, speaking of brutal schedules, I cannot wait for Syracuse to start 5-0 and end up fucking 6-6. They stink.
Have y'all seen their running back on Twitter?
Sean
No.
Tucker, yeah, he does it for his grandparents.
Oh,
What was
What?
it?
every game he'll list out his stats and be like, I was very pleased with this performance and the team's win.
He's like, I know we didn't win, but I was pleased with my performance of 239 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he does it
Yeah.
for his grandparents. That's what someone
Thomas,
said.
why are you hating on that, dude?
No, I just didn't know why he did. I've never seen a player do that. I also feel like a dickhead now because I was going to make fun of him. But I didn't know it was his grandparents.
No, I kind of want to take.
This is my time to get back on track, boys. If I hit all these, that'll be a solid 4 points onto my record, and I'll be right up there with Thomas. So I need these.
There's only one person on the podcast who hasn't had a perfect week, even though mine was a little bit Mickey Mouse, but it still counts.
That's right. I haven't had a perfect week, but you and I still have the same record. So
That's fair.
Ugh.
Yeah, me and Thomas, after he wanted to bitch and moan about me changing my pick Friday night at 11:50 p.m. If you want to change a pick, you can do it before the Thursday night games.
What if I want to pick Maction on Tuesdays?
Yeah, when does that start?
I don't know, but I need it.
They start picking it the week before.
Yeah, because then I can just pick overs for every
Exactly.
Tuesday.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got, fellas, for tonight. Fuck NC State.
Wait, I
Fuck
need to
them.
give my score prediction for the Florida State game.
Okay.
Very true. Very true.
31-23. The Noles.
You know ball.
You know, ball. That's what I was gonna go with, because I didn't give mine either. I was gonna go 33-24.
You don't know ball. You don't know ball.
Similar.
You
Knowles,
don't-
obviously.
You don't know ball.
How?
Ben, what's yours?
24-20.
That's so not
Close
enough
one.
points. Yeah, not enough points.
Take the under. Trust the under.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Well, as a ball knower, I'm going to sign us off. Fuck NC State. Fuck Devin Leary. Fuck Dave Clawson. Sam Hartman. Go get a real job like any normal person your age. Fuck Ryan Fitzgerald. More
There
you
it
don't
is.
know ball. We'll see y'all next week.